Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Does Steffy want to heal the rift at Forrester Creations? The bold and the beautiful spoilers document that Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Mythkinswood, is starting to use her mother's calming techniques. Whether a blend of meditation, yoga, deep breathing, suggestion, prayer, or any other mind-related technique will help Steffy cool it at work remains to be seen. Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, is love-struck. However, his revealed feelings about Hope Logan, Annika Noel, mean that his analysis of Steffy needs to be more spot-on. It is. Steffy has been making business decisions based on her grudge against Hope. That's bad for Forrester Creations and is wrongly supported by Ridge Forrester's, Thorsten K., unwillingness to take a stand. Taylor backs her daughter. Like Steffy, she believes that Hope retains romantic feelings for John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. Viewers know that Steffy and Taylor are wrong, but the need for more new information limits their point of view. Hope and Carter said they love each other at his condominium in a recent private moment. Hope's effort to turn Finn's head is over. Steffy loves having her mother back in Los Angeles, California. The influence of Taylor's presence is already proving significant because Steffy is adopting her mother's quest to gain a deeper perspective on life in general. That should allow Steffy to maintain a sense of calm in the coming weeks, if not months. Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddig, senses that her daughter needs to release the stress that was brought on by Hope's play for Finn. The first effort to target Novlin's character was real, and Steffy responded with rightful intensity. After being fired for a misunderstanding, Hope is open to new possibilities. Carter has a well-formulated plan to build a brand-based company. That effort won't happen at FC, so his time there is limited. Hope is supported by her new love interest, Carter, Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and other family members. That dynamic trends toward a new type of rivalry forming. Rather than a romantic triangle, it can be based on business competition. Steffy could reverse her decision and rehire Hope. Alternatively, she could get behind Carter's idea to expand the family business. SC would only need to add multiple businesses to its portfolio slowly. Steffy could approve of a prove-it plan where Carter's ideas are implemented in a more conservative timeframe. But daytime is about drama, so compromise is not a good bet. It's not that Steffy is looking to create division. She wants to exert control because her name is on the building, and Hope's and Carter's are not. The tension at Forrester Creations has reached a fever pitch. What was once a thriving hub of creativity and family collaboration has devolved into a battleground of egos, secrets, and simmering rivalries. At the center of the storm stands Steffy Forrester, poised with the difficult question of whether to step in and heal the fractures or let the company's internal battles run their course. A family torn apart. The cracks began to show when Ridge Forrester, Steffy's father, found himself caught between his two children, Thomas and Steffy, over the future direction of the company. Thomas, fueled by ambition and a desire to prove his worth, pushed a bold vision of high-risk, avant-garde fashion. Steffy, on the other hand, remained steadfast in her belief that the company's roots in timeless elegance and family values should guide them forward. Their differing philosophies turned from debates to arguments to ultimatums, leaving Ridge struggling to mediate. Adding fuel to the fire was the undeniable friction between Steffy and Thomas' new ally, Hope Logan. Hope's growing influence over Thomas, both professionally and personally, only intensifies Steffy's skepticism about his judgment. Steffy couldn't shake the feeling that Hope's ambitions weren't entirely altruistic, especially as whispers of their rumored affair began to circulate through the corridors of Forrester. The tension was palpable, the stakes higher than ever, and the question lingered. Could Steffi rise above the chaos and mend the family? Steffi's inner struggle. Steffi's heart weighed heavy as she sat in her office, gazing out at the Los Angeles skyline. Healing the rift within Forrester Creations meant more than just smoothing over professional differences. It meant addressing years of personal wounds and rivalries that ran deep. Could she, as a leader, truly reconcile the company's divisions, or was the chasm too wide to bridge? Her mind wandered to the company's origins. Eric Forrester, her grandfather, had built the brand on a foundation of unity and shared dreams. How far they'd strayed from that vision. Steffi couldn't help but feel the weight of her lineage pressing down on her. The idea of stepping in as the peacemaker was tempting, but would it cost her more than she was willing to give? Do I even want to heal the rift? Steffi whispered to herself. A visit from Ridge. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. Ridge entered, his face lined with worry. He'd aged visibly in recent months, the toll of family drama evident in his every step. Steffi, he began, his voice low but earnest. We can't keep going like this. The tension in this building, it's tearing us apart. It's time for a change, and I think you're the one who can make it happen. Steffi leaned back in her chair, her expression unreadable. And what about Thomas? Or Hope? They're just as much a part of this as I am. Why is it always on me to clean up the mess? Ridge sighed deeply. Because you're the only one who can see the bigger picture. You've always had a way of putting the company first, even when it's hard. The words stung. Was he praising her dedication or guilt-tripping her into taking on yet another burden? Steffi wasn't sure. A plan for reconciliation. Later that day, Steffi called a meeting with Thomas, Hope, and Ridge. Her office was tense as the key players gathered, each carrying their own agendas and grievances. Hope, as poised as ever, sat close to Thomas, her body language subtly territorial. Thomas, his jaw set, exuded the confidence of someone who believed he'd already won the battle. Ridge stood off to the side, observing, his expression hopeful yet guarded. I think we can all agree that things at Forrester Creations have gotten out of hand, Steffi began, her tone measured. The constant fighting, the power struggles, it's hurting the company, and it's hurting us. If we don't address this now, we're going to destroy everything Granddad built. Thomas raised an eyebrow. And what exactly do you suggest, Steffi? That we all just hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Hope smirked, but Steffi didn't rise to the bait. No, Thomas. I'm suggesting we come to an agreement on how to move forward, together. This company is big enough for all of us, but we need boundaries and clear roles. Hope interjected, her voice saccharine. That sounds wonderful in theory, Steffi, but it's easier said than done. Especially when some people can't seem to let go of the past. Steffi's eyes flashed. If anyone's holding on to the past, Hope, it's you. You've been leveraging your relationship with Thomas to undermine me, and don't think I haven't noticed. The room fell silent. Ridge looked as though he might intervene, but he held back, waiting to see how the confrontation would play out. Thomas' unexpected proposal. To everyone's surprise, Thomas leaned forward, his tone surprisingly conciliatory. Steffi, you're right. Things have gotten out of hand. But I think we're all so focused on winning that we've forgotten what we're fighting for. Forrester Creations isn't just a company, it's our legacy. Hope looked at him, startled, but Thomas didn't seem to notice. I'm willing to work with you, Steffi. Let's set aside our differences and figure out a way to make this work. Steffi studied him, trying to discern his motives. Was he sincere, or was this just another ploy to gain the upper hand? The path forward. Over the next few days, Steffi and Thomas worked closely to draft a new vision for Forrester Creations. They agreed to co-lead the company, with Steffi focusing on the business side and Thomas heading up the creative department. Hope, meanwhile, was tasked with spearheading the hope for the future line independently, giving her the space to prove herself without interfering in broader company affairs. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it was a start. For the first time in months, there was a sense of hope in the air, a feeling that perhaps the family could find their way back to unity. The final question. As Steffi left the office late one evening, she couldn't help but reflect on the journey ahead. Healing the rift at Forrester Creations would take more than a few meetings and handshakes. It would require trust, patience, and a willingness to let go of old grudges. The question remained, could they do it? Could she? Steffi wasn't sure, but as she looked out at the city lights, she felt a flicker of determination. For better or worse, she was going to try.